Conti, bella palla per Rebic, Ibra, Rebic, il tiro, goal!
Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of the SempreMilan podcast. I'm your host, Ollie Fisher, joined once again by Anthony Torgrud.
Guys, happy to be here. Good times.
I'm Madison.
And I'm here as well, so yeah, it's going to be a good podcast.
We got asked this question last week, and I think it's perfect time to bring it up because I missed it last week. And also you've got another week to reflect on it. From Rocky Award said, what's the best thing so far about being a married man?
Nothing changes.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Give
hope
it
Shannon
time.
doesn't listen to this. Her surname's changed, I suppose.
Yeah,
but
that's
that's
true.
about it. Yeah, that's it. The Three Musketeers back together 2 weeks in a row, and another 2 weeks, 2 wins to look back on even.
As always.
Feels like that, doesn't it, at the moment? 24 games in a row, unbeaten now in all competitions. 28 if you include friendlies, like that bizarre Twitter account did. That was quite a funny
that was
one.
so weird.
And everyone was like, wait, are we on 28? It's like, no, lads, we're not. Not yet. But, God, it feels like a long time since we lost a game, and I don't want to jinx anything like that. And obviously, we're not anywhere near even our club record, because under Capello, we went 58 games in the league alone without losing, which is absolutely ridiculous when you think about it. So, yeah, 24 in a row, 26 with scoring, which, again, absolutely
What is
fantastic.
the world record for that? It was Arsenal's invincible season, wasn't it? Like, I feel like they were like 64 is just a random number.
Yeah, they
went
went a long way, didn't they?
We beat it.
I can't remember the exact. What it'll probably be is some. I guess you'd have to do top 5 leagues, because there'd be
Right.
some team in Eastern Europe, without wanting to generalise, that's probably done, a
Couple
massive
hundred.
unbeaten run. Yeah. Huddersfield actually broke a recent European record. Well, it was about 8 years ago now. We went 43 without defeat, which was pretty good. It was a really weird feeling, was that, because we were so used to watching the team lose every week, and then all of a sudden we just never lost again. We went like a full year without losing. That was mental.
So it's exactly like Milan right now.
Yeah, but, best part of a decade onwards, so I shouldn't complain, really.
AJ, are you not wearing any
head?
headphones?
I have AirPod Pros.
Okay, I
'cause
was
I'm
like,
not broke.
we're
One of
switching
the,
something up.
That one of the 4 pairs you were...
No,
100%.
those were the regular AirPods. I got the 4 pairs. And then I liked those, so I spent more money, bought AirPod Pros. Only got 1. I was hoping I'd get 4 pairs of those as well.
Send me your AirPod.
Well, that's what I did. I gave them out. I gave my dad one for his birthday, someone else for their birthday, and sold another pair. So you can use my used ones, I guess.
I can clean them. That's kind of gross.
Sure is.
We'll move on.
I got Beats. That's why I'm wearing headphones for the first time in a long time. I don't know if the sound quality is any better, but
Are those new?
Yes. Yeah, I got the red and black ones for obvious reasons,
nice.
but they're nice. They were on sale over here. They're the 10-year edition or whatever. So hopefully they're a bit better. Sounds better anyway.
Yeah,
for me.
I think it is.
Christ, where were we? 26 games in a row scoring. We've won every game apart from one this season still, and that's Roma. Like, running out of superlatives for this team, really. But we'll start with the second Europa League group stage game that we had. It was last Thursday night. Played Sparta Prague and won 3-0. I mean, we were predicting a pretty comfortable win, but it was just nice again to kind of go out there and get the job done after like 45 minutes.
Yeah, and it's probably going to happen again tomorrow against Lille. I think that's like the first real game, but I do think we're going to just smoke them. And
Did
I
they
don't
lose
remember
to Celtic
much.
last week?
No, they drew 2-2. They
Yeah,
came
they
back
drew
from
2-2.
2-0 down.
But they're no longer top of Lagoon now. PSG passed them, so they're 2 points behind first and second. So their quality's dropped,
Yeah, I wasn't going to do the preview in this segment of the show, but...
yeah, I just don't remember anything from the Sparta game, to be honest. It was a while ago.
Quickly,
Yeah,
on the Sparta game, there was definitely 2 or 3 positives to pick out, and I'll feel guilty if we don't pick them out. Brahim Diaz got another goal.
And it was a good one, too. Yeah,
It was a good one because he started it by recovering the ball in midfield, and then he sort of dashed like 40, 50 yards, got a nice feed from Ibra, composed himself well on his right foot and finished. That was a nice goal. I can just about remember it. and that moves him on to 3 for us in all comps, which is good. Been some talk throughout the week about how we're already planning to sit down with Real Madrid and discuss some kind of option for keeping him beyond the summer. Apparent price tag's 25 million euros at the moment. My thinking is it's only going to go up if he keeps doing well for us, and there's no signs that he's going to stop doing well for us. So at the moment, 25 million is reasonable. What I'd try and do is probably lock that up as an option to buy.
Yep.
You know, no obligation or anything silly, but let's say the Hakan situation takes a downward turn. We've got an option there that we can trigger to get someone in who's quality in that position. And also, if we qualify for the Champions League, we've probably got that extra 25 mil to bring him in, because obviously he can play number 10, he can play as a winger. He's young. He's a very exciting player. I've been dead impressed with him so far. There's been some reports as well saying that, you know, the management are impressed with how good he is in training, like his intensity and stuff. He's not here on work experience. I think he's here to prove a point. And 25 mil seems to me like a pretty good price. So I just hope he carries on.
I think 25 is the perfect price number for him. You know, you see the prices that players go for in today's market. I think 25 is pretty cheap. So if we could get him for that fits the model of what the type of business we've been doing is, and he's a perfect player. I mean, like you said, he's been impressive. He fits right in. He covers a bunch of roles. And if Hakan leaves in January, which is a possibility, you know, then we have that built-in solution already.
Yeah, I was about to ask if you think that he can replace Çalhanoğlu.
Yeah, I'm going to throw a question out there, so I don't ask it at the end. So there's been reports throughout the week that there's still a pretty substantial difference between what we're willing to offer for Çalhanoğlu's renewal and what the demands are. I think it was Fabrizio Romano came out earlier, obviously probably trust him more so than any other journalist, said that his agent's offering him around to other clubs, which I guess is natural because his contract is expiring next June. So got to find somewhere else for his client to go and all that. But I just don't really like the way that all this is panning out, if you know what I mean. Like, they're clearly playing on the fact that we have the time urgency. You know, we need to try and get something agreed soon here. So they're demanding silly money for a player who's, let's be honest, shown probably 6 months of good form since he's been here in total. Yes, now he's very important to our team. There's no doubt about that. But really, there's not much about this contract negotiation that plays in our favour. And I think that Stipic, who's his agent, knows that. So we'll see how it develops. But the question was from Edwin Ortega, who said, if an acceptable offer comes in for Çalhanoğlu in January, let's say he hasn't renewed his contract, would you take it and use that money to buy Brahim Diaz? He thinks that we should sell Hakan while his value is at its highest. And does he even deserve a renewal? Because, like I mentioned, he's not been that consistent.
Well, I think he's been more consistent than people say. I think he started off actually pretty hot. You look at that first Europa League game against Arsenal. You know, he scored that banger from half field. He was in a great run of form at that point, and then he fell back off, and now he's picking back up. So while inconsistent, he's still had 2 6-month stretches of great form, and this is obviously one of them. And he ended last season pretty strong. So I would argue he's been more consistent than inconsistent. It's just that there's been a big gap between the consistent patches. So it's interesting how you want to look at it. But
he kind of peaked under Montella at first, which was weird. He then went in under a lull. Don't know if that's the right phrase. Under Gattuso when the team were doing quite well. So that was why it was fairly strange. Him and Suso seemed to kind of, you know, when they were good, they were both good. But we couldn't score goals when they were both shit. That was just the way that it went. But yeah, last 6 months, there's a reason that big clubs are sniffing around for him. He's shown what he can do, goals and assists, you know. And I think a big part of it is him finally playing in that number 10 role. And presuming that continues for the next 2-3 years, then I don't see any reason to let go of a very good number 10. I've often been, or rather, you find yourself thinking, let's say that Çalhanoğlu wants 5 million net salary for 5 years or something like that. That becomes a 25 million commitment for us. Can we go out and replace his sort of 15 goal, 15 assist pace that he's on for 25 million? Can we get another player of that quality for that money? I think the answer is probably no. So
Yeah,
you
I
just
think
have
that money
to
would be.
Well, I
and pay it.
think it
Go ahead,
depends on
Matty.
how much we can get for him. Because one, it's United. They'll throw money at whoever they want. So, he's been inconsistent, but I think he's been a really good player behind the scenes. I've been preaching that I like him for the past 3 years now that we've had him, even when he sucked. But if United's going to come in and offer like 40 million, I'd take it.
No chance. Not in January.
I
Not
would
when
take
he's going
40
on a
million as
free.
well. Exactly. I don't think he'll get that offer, or I don't think they'll make that offer just because he's potentially leaving on a free, at the end of the
His
season.
contract up at the end of this year?
Yeah. Yeah. So January,
I didn't
6 months, he
realize
could
that.
negotiate those frees. That's why the only thing is like, who asked the question? You said Edward Ortega?
It was Edwin Ortega, yeah.
Edwin Ortega. So he said, sell him while his price is highest. I would argue his price is probably the lowest because it's at that 6 month stretch.
Mm-hmm.
His quality, his overall value might be at the highest it's ever been, but his market value is at the lowest just because it's 6 months left on the contract. So I think if we want to sell him, the only way we get a good offer is if we could convince him to take a slight renewal for another year and say, look, we'll field offers. That's the only way we're going to get good money. Exactly. But I don't see that happening. I think we'll get something over the line for him that I think he wants to stay, but he's got to still take these tactics from the player perspective to get one over the club, because he does have the leverage as far as the negotiation goes right now. So take advantage of that. It's rare that players have that. So he's doing what he has to do, get the contract he wants. Especially
with things the way they are at the moment,
Exactly.
I don't think there are clubs who would come in and offer a huge pay package to him. I don't think United had offered to triple his salary. I also don't think United are in for him at all. I really think that's bollocks. If you look at, they spent big money on Bruno Fernandes. They spent big money on Donny van de Beek. They've also got the likes of Mason Greenwood. They've got players in that role. They don't need another attacking midfielder.
I think it depends on what their plan is. Because if Pogba leaves, which he's been saying he's going to leave since he signed there, I feel like they could just change their formation completely.
Yeah, maybe.
And they could.
It depends. Who knows what's going on there? Because United lost again tonight to a team that I can't pronounce, Istanbul Başakşehir, whatever, and Solskjaer's it seems like he's on the brink, really. Mm-hmm. So who knows that there's not something else going on behind the scenes there. I know they've got a transfer committee as well. So, but I just think there are other suitors. And if it's true and one of them are Juventus, let's say, I hate the thought of losing someone like that to a rival, because it's the kind of thing that gets dangled over your head as a... But yeah,
I would argue United doesn't have a plan at all, and that's why they would buy in. That they just throw money at whichever player is hot at the moment, and if they have 4 of them in that position, they don't care. They'll still drop $100 million on a bang average player. Look at Harry Maguire. So I don't know. I could see him doing it just to do it. Yet? He's at Benfica, I thought.
No,
he's at United.
Also,
wait, Cavani's at United?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
When the fuck did that happen?
What? They signed Odion Igalo on loan from China halfway through last season, and he came in and had a much better impact than Cavani's had so far. Much, much better. He was scoring goals for fun in Europe. But yeah, the Çalhanoğlu thing, I agree. I think he wants to stay, and that helps us quite a lot, definitely. The difference is he's a 26-year-old playmaker. He probably wants to start playing Champions League football at some point soon. Whereas Donnarumma wants to stay. He's 21. He's at his boyhood club. He feels some kind of attachment. Not only that, but if things aren't going well in a couple of years and Milan have dropped off massively, he knows that he's got a couple more shots that go into a contender. Time's much more on his side. The Çalhanoğlu thing, I think it gets over the line. I think Maldini and Massara are going to be tested with their negotiating skills with Donnarumma, just like they were with Ibra's renewal, and they're going to be tested with Çalhanoğlu. But what player is honestly going to walk away from the project that we're building right now? You've got to question. It would only be for the money, because there's no.
Well, and he is
how many times have I said that when things are going right, there is no better football club to play for? There just isn't. We've seen it so many times. Especially right now,
we're in the best form in Europe. There's not a single club doing better than us right now. And he's a starter. He's getting any minutes he needs and any minutes he wants.
in a position that he wants. And
there's no reason to leave other than money. So if we don't offer him what he wants and United says, we'll pay you, $8 million because they could get away with that shit, why wouldn't he take it? That's the only thing I could see him swaying him. But if it's about football, about the game,
guys.
Then he'll stay. What's up?
Mm-hmm.
Who is more important to re-sign currently, Donnarumma or Çalhanoğlu?
Donnarumma.
Still Donnarumma. Yeah, still Donnarumma, because I do think there are a couple of ready alternatives there if the Çalhanoğlu thing did go south.
If we lose Hakan, we got Brahim Diaz. If
they don't want to sell
Donnarumma, we got Tatu Luciano.
Yeah, exactly. But even if Real Madrid don't want to sell Brahim Diaz, you probably just trigger Szoboszlai's release clause, which is 25 mil. There are playmaker options out there, and ones that we've been linked with quite a lot. The Donnarumma thing would just be a massive blow to our project from an external point of view. People look at it and be like, "Whoa, he's really left his childhood club, who were doing so well, because they wouldn't offer him that extra." It just doesn't look good. It just doesn't look good. Contract saga stuff aside, just two more things from the Sparta game. Rafael Leao bagged again, which was good, but the best thing about that was the Dalot assist. He started at left back, and I thought he was exceptional. Thought he was better at left back than he was in that first game at right back, where he kind of was just asked to contain Laxalt, against Celtic. He looked good on the left side, though. It was the one where he hit it with the outside of his boot round the back of the defence, and Leao was just waiting for it was a gorgeous goal. I'm so happy.
I was more impressed, though, with the pass to Dalot from Benacer that literally covered the entire pitch.
That was the third goal, wasn't it? That was the one that Dalot scored, and that was...
No. It was the one to Leao.
Oh, was it the... Right. God, yeah.
Benacer passed it to Dalot and covered, 80 to 100 fucking yards with this thing, and then Dalot had the outside the foot pass to Leao, just fucking beautiful tap in.
And then Benacer actually assisted Dalot for the third goal.
Yeah,
with
another long. Yeah.
Benacer was absolutely amazing in that game. He bossed it against a team that he should boss it against. Don't get me wrong, but his passing, man. We talk about Sandro Tonali coming in and his long range passing being something to look out for. When Benacer has a good game, he knows how to spray the ball around. He's not just a tenacious little tough to deal with midfield or whatever. He was good. Whole team were pretty good. We never really looked like conceding, and I didn't think we would as soon as their main guy, Hlozek, was ruled out before kickoff. I thought we're all right, and we're all good. And then ahead of the game against Lille, which we will come on to in a little bit, it means that if we win against Lille, we'll be at least 5 points clear of third place with 3 group games to go. That's important because with the league games rolling in thick and fast, it means we can rotate in those European games and still pretty much be guaranteed of going through. At the moment, it kind of looks like PSG are probably going to drop into the Europa League. So, if they drop
Real Madrid as well. PSG and Real
possibly.
Madrid are poised to drop right now.
Inter. Probably Inter, isn't it?
Inter's in last. They're in fourth. They're just getting
Shakhtar
out.
in
First. Shakhtar's in first. The other no-name club's in second. Madrid's in third.
There is no way.
Holy crap.
Shakhtar lost 6-0 last night.
No.
To Mönchengladbach.
Mönchengladbach's in first. Shakhtar's in second. Yeah. Okay, I had them swapped. Sorry.
Could you imagine Inter and Madrid?
Dude, that whole group stage right now is top to bottom backwards. It doesn't make any sense to me.
I got this premonition that Inter actually finished third in that group above Shakhtar and drop into the Europa League, and we play them in the knockouts. I'd like that.
That'd be nice. That'd be fun.
Yeah, because we've beaten them in every knockout game we've ever played them in, which is fantastic stat.
Makes sense. We're a better team.
Bigger club.
I'll say it's because they're a trash club.
Agreed.
Yeah. Garbage.
So Sparta all rosy in the Europa League, and then Sunday wasn't necessarily all rosy. Udinese, we've had some shit times there. I think we've lost. What had we lost? I think we'd lost on 3 of our last 6 trips there, which doesn't sound too bad, but they've always been a bottom half club. So to go there and lose, having lost half the games.
Donnarumma passes the ball directly to their striker.
there's been some howlers. I mean, we lost 1-0 there at the start of last season. That felt like a really, really like symbolic opening to our era under Gianpaolo. But, you know, I think we've mentioned it before. The sign of a good team is one that wins when they're not really playing at their best. And also, we've got this guy up front called Zlatan Ibrahimovic who tends to be pretty good at putting the team on his back when he needs to.
Literally on his back to the last time.
Yeah, I mean the first goal was really nice. I'll be totally honest. It was a lovely ball over the top to Ibra, brings it down, gives it to Kessier, bang in off the crossbar. That was a nice goal. Oh God, that must have been really early in the morning for you two.
It was 4:30 in the morning for me. Yeah.
Yeah, I set my alarm for 6:30 p.m., not a.m. So I woke up for halftime.
Oh,
did you ever get a stream? Because you were asking me for a login that I just didn't have.
SEMO. I watch an Arabic one.
Nice. There you go.
So did I think. I don't think it was on. I think it was on TV over here either. And then it looked like we'd kind of thrown away the not 3 points, 2 points when they got a penalty. I don't know. At first, I was absolutely dead behind the idea that it wasn't a penalty because Roman only gets the ball with first contact. And as a defender myself, I would say as long as you get something on the ball, it doesn't matter what happens with the follow through. However, the more and more you watch it, he gets a flick on the ball forwards, let's say, and then he just kind of clean him out with his studs. So I'm like that about it now. You know, if I were a referee, I wouldn't have given it, but I can see why it was given. It didn't look great with the naked eye, and VAR is going to take a look at it with the referee's decision already in mind and say, yeah, he did kind of go through him after getting the ball. And then DePaul, great penalty. Donnarumma gets the right way and didn't even get within 3 yards of it. So you can't really say anything about the pen. But it didn't matter because...
Donnarumma?
Yeah.
He played? I thought he tested positive or negative after the game.
No, he was in the whole time.
Yeah. And it's not just him now. We've got Hauger and Gabi back as well now, which is good. So basically, we've only got...
Everyone's back now.
Yeah, the only one who's not fit is Musacho because he's still coming back from his surgery. But even like Conte's back, not that it particularly matters. Castillo missed the game because of a muscle strain, but he's back now. And you might say, oh, who cares? But, you know, for the Europa League moving forward, it is important to have rotation options. Yeah. And so if we're going to get any use
Duarte
out of him,
played a little bit too, so he's back as well.
That's, You think games like Celtic at home, Sparta away, just literally rotate all 11 players and keep everyone fresh for these league games because we need to keep rolling through teams. I mean, we've got Hellas and then Napoli. So
if we win on Thursday, we advance automatically, right?
No. We'd be looking pretty good. We'd be looking pretty good. There's all kinds of mathematic permutations, but we've got a chance of having qualified after 4 games. That would be a possibility. But
because we'll play Lille twice, so if we beat them back to back, then I think we qualify, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
If you're 4 out of 4, then you're almost certainly through. Especially because like second and third have all still got to play each other, so they'll take points off each other. It becomes easier after that.
But currently, if we win this, then that gives us at least a 1-game cushion to lose.
5 points. If we win,
5 points. We could lose and draw and still be good. But
it'd be at least 5 points. But if we winning on to 9, and then Celtic, for example, were to draw with Sparta Prague, then they'd go on to 2 points. So we'd actually be 7 points ahead of third place. But I think Celtic will beat Sparta, to be honest. So I think it'll be 5 points less if we win.
Yeah.
What was it? Yeah, the winner, Ibra's winner. I don't really have the words to describe it, to be honest, because it was just instinctive. Like
exactly,
it was Ibrahimovic.
It was like turning back the clock. Not that his performance has dropped. If anything, you could argue it's gotten better. But you haven't seen those type of acrobatic goals from him in a couple seasons. That's simply because he's getting close to 40 years old. But then he pulls out this bicycle kick, and it wasn't the prettiest. It wasn't the cleanest.
It, didn't he? But
it was a god awful shot. It just happened to go in and be fucking Zlatan-esque. But
when you watch it in slow motion, like you could see his eyes watching it the entire time, and like he like moves his hand out of the way so he didn't touch it. And I was like, dude, to have the awareness to do that is just unbelievable.
It
Predatory,
was like
man. It
slow-mo
was
in real life, and then when you see it in slow-mo, it looks even better. The thing is, if you connect with it, if he connects with it cleanly, though, it's straight at the keeper because they were that close together. But the fact that he shinned it sent it off to the side and into the bottom corner, so it was he meant it, obviously.
I thought they were going to call it back for a dangerous play.
I thought it was offside. Dude, I assumed he was way off.
I seriously thought that the reason he shinned it was because he kicked the defender in the face. Like the way the defender reacted, because he was going to head it, and that boot's like, right there, and so he goes back and like covers up, which is
he shouldn't be
too. But
he shouldn't be heading a ball that's 2 foot off the floor. To be fair,
you should, especially when you're Zlatan, who will kick anything.
Yeah. Here's a stat for you. Follow at AC Milan data if you don't already. Zlatan Ibrahimovic has scored more goals since turning 30 than he did before he turned 30. And it's not just a little bit. Up until the age of 30, he scored 186 goals. Since he's turned 30, he's scored 289.
Yeah,
so,
that's
he's getting better
ridiculous.
With age.
It's legendary numbers. Now,
you got to remember,
you can make arguments MLS and League One, but at the same time, you got to count out 2017 when he missed with an ACL injury. So
that's what I was just going to say. He completely destroyed both ligaments in his knee in April 2017 and was out for 270 odd days. So, he didn't have that time, and he's come and proved.
Plus, when he was at United, playing, he still got, I think, 17 goals and some odd assists.
Oh, he was good.
He's obviously over 20 goals already or something like that, something crazy. So
I remember covering it at the time for where I was working and doing all of his press conferences and stuff. I was saying, I'm covering and I'm going to take them to win the Europa League. And they did. They actually won the Europa League that year.
Yeah, granted, he didn't play in that final, but still.
No, they beat Ajax in the final. He got injured before it, didn't he? But, that
was pivotal in the path to get to it.
100%, yeah. So, Ibra Eternal. And then now we can talk about Lille. So that's tomorrow night. I think this game plays into our hands for a number of reasons. Now, I don't think Lille are a bad side because, they've played 9 games in the league and they haven't lost yet. They're second to PSG. That's going to happen because it's PSG. They've got some good players. They have like Soumare, who we were linked with throughout the summer. Yaziki's good. They've got George Weah's son, as you'll know, Tim Weah.
Timmy.
He doesn't play, though.
No, they signed him from PSG as well, which I didn't know.
Actually, I think he's on his way out.
Probably is. He was at Celtic as well, so there's an interesting link there.
There's a more interesting link as well, but we'll get to it, I'm sure.
What's that?
Our little boy Leao.
Yeah,
scored 8 goals for them.
Yeah. Simon Kier played for Lille as well.
I thought you were going to say something about the ownership.
Oh, that too. That's probably the biggest connection ever.
It isn't anymore. It isn't anymore. It's not that Elliot don't have anything to do with Lille anymore. It's just that the guy who does own them, Gerard Lopez, still owes Elliot money for the takeover.
Oh, okay.
So that's why there's this suggestion that Lille might sell players in more favourable terms to us because it's changing money that would have changed hands anyway, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, Soumare thing's going to come back without a doubt. I noticed Calcio Mercato published something tonight, your favourite reliable source, Maddie, saying that we're still interested in him and now he's getting less game time, probably more inclined to come to us as a rotation midfielder. So we could literally have Benacer Kessié and then a backup pairing of Soumare Tonali. Pretty good. That would be wild. They've got Jonathan David, who I really like, but he started the season quite badly, hasn't adapted that well. They've got a defender, Jose Fonte, who was at West Ham and didn't really do great, but I also quite like him. They signed another young centre-back from Ajax. They're basically doing what we're doing, but just not quite as big investments, if you know what I mean.
Right.
So it's interesting to see that they've got a similar project, similar way of playing to us. I think this game plays into our hands, especially because they only drew against Celtic. That means that they're going into this game knowing Celtic will most likely beat Sparta, and they'll be breathing right down their necks unless they come to San Siro and get a result. That means
there's
that
another connection we forgot. They signed Thiago Dallo from us.
Oh God, yeah, they did. Yeah, he doesn't play though, does he?
I thought he did. I thought he was in their Champions League squad last season.
It was part of the Leao deal, wasn't it? Basically, it knocked like 1.5.
And he never played for us. He was only in our youth team, and then next thing you know, he's starting Champions League games for Lille.
Yeah, I'm gonna look that up. Thiago Jallo, wasn't it?
Yeah, DJALO.
He's Portuguese as well, is he? Wow.
Yeah, it looks like he hasn't played actually in a while.
So he played 8 times in the league last year.
February was
but still,
the last time he played.
That's 8 more games than he would have got for us, I suppose.
That's
only
very
20-year-old as well, so maybe he might develop into something. Who knows? But I'm pretty happy with Leao. Leao's going to really fancy proving something against his old team as well. That's why I'd start him. I'd start him up front. I know Ibra's probably going to start because he just, for some reason, demands to start every game. Actually, I'll throw another question out there. This was pretty good. This one came from Jay. Just Jay. Pioli, this is more of a statement than anything, but he says Pioli really has no idea of load management since Zlatan has played almost every game, even the Europa League. Where are Colombo, Hauger, and Maldini? I guess the latter two wouldn't play up front, but it would allow like Rebic or Leao.
Well, Hauger also had COVID, and when he didn't have COVID, he was coming in for, 10 minutes, 20 minutes. I think he's played,
Maldini did play recently
games
as well. As far as Colombo, though, I can tell you right where he's at. The fucking dumpster. That kid's trash.
Okay, he had one bad game.
Terrible take.
Look,
just keep him.
I don't think it's that Pioli has bad load management. I think it's that Zlatan Ibrahimovic will not allow being benched.
I'm going to be raging when he eventually gets injured.
Yeah,
now,
it's going to happen.
I wonder if there's some kind of pre-agreement that hasn't really been mentioned, whereby we're going to play our first sort of, we're going to only rotate a little bit in these early Europa League games, make sure we get through and qualify, and then fully rotate. So, Zlatan, Kessier, all these key players, Kier, can go to just playing one game a week and recover, and we'll have international breaks and recover.
Well, and remember last time out, Zlatan only played 45 minutes against Sparta. He came off at halftime. Exactly. So he
looked pissed, though.
His thing is, I need to start.
He didn't score.
I need minutes. And then at halftime, Pioli's like, okay, you got your fucking minutes. Now let's take a nap because you need it. It's past your bedtime, old man. And then we put Leao on.
Yeah.
Sleepy Z.
Sleepy Z, yeah.
Why is it that we always play great when, our best players are super old? Have you guys realized that?
The average age of our
last... how it is.
The average age of our last Scudetto winning team was kind of scary, how high it was. But
it was almost as old as
But if we win a Scudetto this year, it will be... What'd you say?
What did you say?
I said it was almost as old as you. It was a joke. What was that average age? It was like 35, wasn't it? It was up there. That team was nuts. But
if we knock on wood, win it this year, it will be like 23 and a half or something.
Yeah,
it'll be the youngest.
On that figure.
Ironically,
and that's with a 39-year-old.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, Zlatan load management, totally agree. I don't see why we're playing him 2 games a week. I'd rather we just kind of dip him in and out at this part of the season. I'm worried he's going to burn out too early more than anything. But I don't mind if the intention is definitely to make sure we get qualified with 3 wins from 3 in the groups, and then just, take a little nap.
It's like someone may have predicted that.
Nah, no one could have seen that coming.
So Lille prediction. For me, like I said, I think the fact that they basically need another win on the board means they're going to come at us, and we tend to play best against teams where we can counter quickly. Yep. I think it plays into our hands, but I don't see us keeping a clean sheet because we don't seem to be doing that a lot at the moment. So I'm going to say 2-1 to us.
I'm going to say 3-1. I think it's going to be almost identical to the Udinese game, except we'll get a second goal and then a third. I think we're going to go up quick, and then they're going to bounce back, and then we're going to take it again, and then we're going to close it out to finish.
Mad Dog.
He was reading politics. I just got that update too.
Is he won?
It's not
update.
Yeah, we don't need to talk
Arizona?
about that.
Okay.
No. Michigan.
I think that it's going to be closer than we think, and it's going to be 2-1. And Ibra's going to come off at halftime, and Leao will score the winner.
I like that. I didn't even give a mention to my favourite player, someone who I actually would love Milan to sign, but apparently his value is 40 million. Jonathan Icone, really good winger. He would fix our right wing spot, no problem. So Lille done. Right, questions then. Oh, hang on. Is there any more rumours? Is there any rumours? Nothing really, I don't think. No. It's all the same shit, basically. Right. Oh, another Hakan one. Ev Morris says, justify why Hakan demands 6 million plus for 6 months of exceptional play despite his disappointing 3 years prior. Would we feel fair to give him that as a wage? It's kind of basically exactly what we said.
Yeah, I mean, I think the way he phrased that, though, makes it a fantastic question, is like, justify it. Like, yeah, he's done great, but like, prove why it's worth it. And I'm probably going to lose that argument, to be honest with you, but I think we do pay it. I think we give it to him. I think with the trajectory that we're on now, knowing the bonus we get if we do secure Champions League football, we could afford that. And it's a risk that we ultimately we have to take that risk with the fact that we could lose him in January on a free. You take the risk, you give him the money, and if we accomplish Champions League, then we're in the green, and we go from there. We keep building, we keep winning, and, life's good. But we'll see.
I thought you guys were talking about Çalhanoğlu or Ibrahimovic, not Çalhanoğlu. Definitely give him the 6 million. I think he's worth it.
I'm down with renewing Zlatan another year too, though, to be honest.
Yeah, me too.
No.
I'm actually going to come on to that because I totally forgot about it. But with Hakan, the reason that you pay the money is not because of the what's been, it's the what if. It's the what if you let a player like that leave over the sake of $2-3 million in salary, euros in salary, and he goes somewhere else and continues this amazing form, and we're like, why didn't we just give him what he wanted? But I think we actually probably do a deal somewhere around the 5 mil mark.
Yeah.
So we got a 3-part question from Rocket Award. The first one was best part about being married. That was good. Oh no, shit, it was a 4-part question. My bad.
Is that allowed? 4-part questions?
Don't see why not. This is our first. Might be our last. Sergio Ramos rumour. Now, this wasn't like anything majorly credible, but I'm going to bring it up because let's not talk about it as it's happening. But what do you think of the idea of signing someone like Sergio Ramos or signing Sergio Ramos?
No.
I'm torn because I've slandered his legacy my entire career. So I would be really hard pressed to start celebrating signing him, but I would do it. Like if we sign Ronaldo, like I've spent the last decade and a half talking shit about him, but I'd be hyped if we pulled him in magically. That said, how do you bench Romagnoli, who's our captain, for Ramos? Like you can't do it.
You bench Romagnoli, you bench Kier.
Kier's better than both of them. Kier's better than Romagnoli, and I personally think in better form than Ramos over the last 2 years.
I oddly trust you, agree. I don't know why I said the other 2 words. Agree with you that Kier right now is better than Romagnoli, which is so weird. But
yeah, it's just the injury. I think the injury and coming back and like coming back for big games.
I think
you're rusty.
Romagnoli's hit his peak, and we need to cash it.
I don't know
if that's the answer, but he might be at his peak. I don't know if we need to cash in. Having a defender of his quality as a backup, say like we find an improvement, that's
How
huge.
Are you gonna bench the captain?
Exactly why, Mike, we can't do this Ramos thing.
He either needs
unless
to
we switch to a 3 at the back, which could
gone.
ruin everything. Yeah.
We're not.
Yeah, either he's got to improve or go away. Those are the only ways we get rid of Romagnoli at this point. It just sucks. That's what happens when you make someone a captain. But at the same time, well, no, that's not true because we eventually just stripped Montalivo of it and sent him to reserves.
Okay, don't even compare Montalivo to Romagnoli.
I know, it sounds like I'm shitting on Romagnoli. So before anyone starts commenting hate, I love the guy. I have his jersey in that closet. Like, big fan. I'm just thinking of ways around it to see.
You can comment hate against me. I'm all for it.
Yeah, Matty likes that. He thrives. And I like to be liked.
3 at the back was mentioned there, and this was like another part of the 4-part question. If we sign another centre-back, what about the idea of playing a 3-man defence? Now, we talked about this before. The reason that you instantly say no is because the 4-2-3-1 is working really well for us and has worked really well for us in recent months. However, when you start thinking about it, you can make a case for it. I'm not saying it's the right move, but you can make a case for the idea of having Romagnoli, Kier and Milinkovic or Kabak or, you know, another centre-back as your three, and then you've got like Gabia and whoever for cover. And then you've got Teo and be it Dallo or Calabria in what is probably their better position of wing-back because they don't have to do as much defensive work and they can focus on what they're good at. And then in midfield, you have the potential to play Tonali, Benacer and Kessié together. Now, the problem with that at the moment is that it would leave us a little bit dry on the bench, but you could sign a couple of central midfielders like Soumare or, you know, someone a bit cheaper. And then you can play an attacking midfielder and a striker, so you could still get Çalhanoğlu or Rebic or Leao in there with Ibra. The reason it's definitely not going to happen is just because we are literally building this entire squad around having two players for each position in the 4-2-3-1. That's the
there is an age-old adage that everyone here has heard a million times over. You don't fix what's not broken. Mm-hmm. We're 24 games unbeaten. That's almost a full season. There's no reason to change the whole formula just to bring in an aging Sergio Ramos who's unnecessary and arguably unqualified in Serie A. So no, there's no reason.
Absolutely agree.
And the rumours baseless because A, he's going to renew with Real Madrid. He will probably retire there. And B, we aren't even going to pay half or even a third of his salary.
How much is he making right now?
Not our policy. I'll guarantee it's over 10 million a year.
That's what I was going to say. He's an 8-figure man now.
Let me have a look. Ramos salary net. Fuck.
Don't even want to hear it at this point. If that's the reaction.
20 million euros.
Pass. Hard pass. If we paid a fourth of that, he would be one of our highest paid players. Yeah, it's not happening.
Oh, someone said it's net 15 mil, so he would be double our highest paid player, which is Zlatan. Do you think Zlatan? I think Zlatan would clash with a player like Ramos, because Ramos is going to come in and be like, "I'm King Dick." Like
that would be cool to put him in like a celebrity boxing league. Yes.
Like that old MTV show.
I loved it. Old Clay people.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Where were we? Oh yeah. So Pat Dobson.
Yeah.
Pat Robson has been asking me to ask this question for a while. Now, I'm not sure I fully believe in it, but the gist of the question is basically why is it only Italian managers that seem to do well in Serie A? Now, if you think about it, Pirlo's doing all right at Juve, but Conte's doing well at.
No, he's not.
What?
He's doing all right.
They got 3 wins. One's a forfeit.
They've picked up a bit though. It's annoying. They won 4-1. They've won both of their Champions League games. I did see something saying there.
They didn't beat Barcelona, did they?
No, they didn't. They got 2-0 at Barca.
It was at Juve.
Oh,
yeah, but like against Barca. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So maybe
they're not well.
Oliver's been shut down.
So, no, but before that they had Sarri, Italian, won them the league, won great football, but and then before that they had Allegri, who did very well with them. Inter have Conte, who's sort of building something there, even though I've got a feeling he's going to destroy it.
Can't win a single Champions League game to save his life.
Atalanta have Gasperini. Napoli have Gattuso.
I think it's like a culture thing.
Who is it? Second in the league, Sassuolo have De Zerbi, who's a really good manager. Basically, the question is, why don't foreign managers seem to come here and do well?
I don't think the question so much is why do Italian managers do the best. I think it's why aren't non-Italians given an opportunity? Because it's not even that they don't come here and do well. It's just name the last high-profile non-Italian manager in Serie A. I can't think of it. You look at the last multiple for Juve, all Italians. For us, all Italians are like random people that were already in the league. You know, you look at
He wasn't good,
Okay.
but he was the last.
Yeah, but I mean, but he has
Mihailovic,
player
but
connections
these were
here. But exactly, like there's people who are already in the league, but
Serie A
even then,
pedigree.
they didn't do that great. You know,
Right.
Mihai did good for us at the time, which was 6th place. You know, Seedorf did good for us at the time, which was almost getting back to Champions League. So it's like, even though, I don't know, if a guy like Pep Guardiola came in, he'd win the league. If Pochettino came in, he'd get pretty damn close. There are managers out there that could do it, but the main thing is the money to bring in one of those high-profile non-Italian managers from another league isn't there, unless it's Juventus. And if they could win the league by promoting Pirlo from nothing, or continuing to use, like, I don't know, random people that we've been doing, like, there's no reason to sign one of those big coaches, you know? So I think the question's not why aren't they doing well, it's why aren't they getting the opportunity? And the answer is money.
That's good.
Sorry,
I know that the question. No. I know that the question was asked a while ago, and it was around the time of the Ranić thing, obviously, and it's perhaps was used as a deterrent. You know, we could have ripped up what we had and chosen to go down an unknown path with a man whose stuff has only ever worked in the Bundesliga. So I get it. I think that's a solid case that you could build around why we did the right thing not going with Ranić. However, you look at a project like what Atalanta have, similar in the sense of signing young players, and they've developed a good team. I know they got slapped by Liverpool in the Champions League, but I mean, they had a very good run last season in it. They finished top 4 again. For a club with their resources, they're massively overperforming still. And that is because they have a similar project to the one that we kind of do and the one that we would have had under Ranić. So I don't think it's necessarily the coach that's 100% of it. It's the mechanisms that he brings with him. It's the vision that he has in mind. For a guy like Guardiola, who I still think ends up at Juve at some point, I still think he will be desperate to coach in Italy at some point. I don't think it matters, because if you're bringing in a manager like that, you're going to give him permission to sign a few players that he wants, and you're going to give him the money to do that too. So it perhaps doesn't matter on the higher up level you go, it probably matters less what nationality they are, to be totally honest. But I think it's a fair question, to be honest. It's a fair question.
Yeah, and for the record, I think Ranić would still have succeeded if he was here right now. Maybe not to the extent that we're doing. I think it would be a totally different project without Zlatan, but I think he still would have done well.
Final question then from Sites Milan. How far can we go into the Europa League? Sky Bet, so that's like the main bookies over here, and BT Sports have us as the third favourites behind Arsenal and Spurs for the Europa League. However, I believe we beat these teams, especially if we got January signings and played them after that.
That's my guy, Sites. Yeah. I think we should be number 1 as far as the favorites go right now. Now, when Champions League groups drop, then you got to revisit it, given things are looking right now like PSG, who was just in the Champions League final last season. Real Madrid has won it 13 times. You know, there's a lot of clubs that might drop down that are massive threats to us. Sevilla is another one that's in third right now, who won Europa League 20 times.
Do you think that Real Madrid take it seriously, though?
Yeah, only because it's Real Madrid and they're already embarrassed to be in the competition. So their only option is to completely wipe the floor with it or get ridiculed by Barcelona fans for a lifetime.
Yeah, that's
Barcelona
true.
fans don't have much room to talk right now.
I mean, but they're still in the Champions League, so.
Yeah,
but
what's weird?
Back to the original thing, we smoke Arsenal. There's absolutely no reason Arsenal should be favorites. We should be favorites based off groups right now, or Tottenham. But even then, Tottenham isn't in the best of form, just simply because they brought in Gareth Bale to play with Harry Kane and Heung-min Son. They have a fantastic team that's absolutely Europa League winning quality. It's just simply that Arsenal's gotten to finals before and they've won some trophies that Spurs haven't. And we're still resurging from being European dumpster fires. So I think that's why we're third right now.
How's Bale doing at Tottenham? Is he doing anything?
Finally scored.
Yeah, he finally scored one. He hasn't done that hot, to be honest, though.
No, he missed a
definitely
bad
not
chance
terrible.
during the.
Yeah,
he came on when they were 3-0 up against West Ham and they drew 3-3. So that was a funny one. I think we get beat by Spurs at the moment because I think that squads-wise, you might say we have the slight edge. You might say they have the slight edge. I think Mourinho outcoaches Pioli still. we all love Pioli. We put him on this pedestal. We think he's the best, you know. The bottom line is Mourinho's Mourinho, and he would find a way to stifle us. He's just a very, very good coach.
But the other side of that coin is Spurs are Spurs. Like you just said, they bought out a 3-0 lead to West Ham in 20 minutes. So
they lost to Everton.
I think we could beat Spurs. On paper quality, they're a better team, hands down. But I think
I think their attack is faster, but I think our defense is stronger.
It's Kane and Son that worry me. But yeah, I think they're suspect at the back. I think that'd be the kind of like two-legged tie, because it would be over 2 legs that would be like 5-5 or something. So yeah, that'd be a good one. Arsenal, I just think they're in a transition period at the moment. They're picking up some good results, like winning at United, even though United seem to be crap at the moment.
I want Arsenal in the round of 32. I'll say it now. I want them. I want to wipe the floor with them. I want revenge. I
want revenge too. Yeah, I want revenge. I do actually kind of like their team though on paper. There's no massive household names aside, maybe Aubameyang, but I like that Gabriel that they signed from Lille. Funnily enough, Tierney's good. Partey, who's gone there, Thomas Partey, he's good.
Pepe.
Yeah, Pepe.
What happened with Ozil? Did they release him?
No, he's just rotting away on the bench.
Yeah, but he's gonna be apparently. Ozil to replace Hakan.
We can't afford him either. He's on Ramos' wages.
I still think that there is going to be one big, because of the way I looked at the groups after full time tonight, I still think there is going to be one massive team that drops into the Europa League, and people are going to be shocked by it. It's going to be one of, which is scary to think of, one of Leipzig, Man United, or PSG are going to drop out into the Europa League.
Will Man United be that surprising or shocking or scary?
No. Well, they lost their first game today. They were top of their league until today. I think they still are. What is their first loss?
Well, they beat Leipzig 5-0 after they won 2-1 in Paris against PSG. Then
and PSG lost 2-1 today.
They lost to Istanbul. Yeah, weird.
So that group right now is PSG in third. But then the other groups are just as scary. You know, you look at the one we're just talking about, Real Madrid and Inter. That's a toss-up for who's going to drop. Sevilla's good. I think they're going to stay. Apparently they won today, so they're basically clear.
Yeah, Sevilla.
Atalanta could drop, or Ajax could drop. Olympiacos could drop, which I mean that did us in last time. Porto could drop still. It's I don't know. It's interesting.
Mm-hmm. It's almost like too premature to even be thinking about it. Let's just make sure we get through, and then whoever we've got, we'll give it a crack. You know, we shouldn't fear anyone at the moment. That's for sure. But yeah, that's it, boys. Really, I don't have anything else to add. Can't think of anything.
I hate to prolong this podcast quite a bit, but we didn't talk one inch about the Hellas Verona game on Sunday.
Oh shit! Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Hellas,
I mean, it's an easy dub.
Nah, I don't know, man. Hellas are a weird one. They drew 1-1 at Juve as well. So Hellas had a good season last season. I was impressed with what their manager Ivan Juric did. They had a few players who performed really well. One of them being a guy that we still have an interest in Pessina. They're currently 7th in the league. They're level on points with Inter, Roma, above Lazio. I know it's early days, but the suggestion is that they could probably push for a top 7 finish again. That being said, we're at home. I think we drew this fixture last year, didn't we? I think we drew
a draw and a win. Yeah, we drew 1-1, and then the previous one was a 1-0. But then the season before that, we won 4-0 or something. So yeah, we haven't lost to them since 2017.
I like the fact that we're playing them, and it will give us, because Atalanta are playing Inter, and I think Lazio are at home to Juve. So that's nice. If we can win against Hellas Verona, then we might be looking at a situation when we put a few points breathing space between us and those other teams that we'd be challenging at the very least for a top 4 spot with. And then also Sassuolo have a fairly easy fixture, I believe. In fact, they're home to Udinese. So, if we slip up, then we're probably not top anymore. But this is a good one because Hellas play good football. I don't think they're going to come and park the bus, to be totally honest. And that always
they beat Roma 3-0, so I don't see why they wouldn't try.
Yeah, that was the forfeit though. It was 0-0,
that's right.
Wasn't it? And then,
damn, I made the mistake I've been waiting for a podcaster to make all season is saying they beat Roma. It was me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a one-all game.
That. Yeah.
Damn. I got.
But I'm pretty I still think they have some problems scoring goals, actually, Hellas. I'm feeling pretty good about this one. I think we're going to get a clean sheet that we kind of need as well. So I'm going to go with 2-0.
Yeah, I think that's perfect. I'll agree with you on that. 26 unbeaten by Sunday.
Yeah, let's rock and roll. I'm going to say...
Love it.
I think that Rebic is going to start, though, over Leao.
Yeah, I think Rebic gets to start in one of the next 2 games because we need to get him... The only way you get him game fit is by playing him for the majority of the game. I think
but he's
the wise bet...
so much of such a stronger player than Leao is.
He's a different player. I think we're realising that more and more. Mm-hmm. He's a different player. But, you know, they're both so good in their own ways. I'm really, really liking Leao this season. As a final side, are we like... Because you see teams giving out Dickens and all this kind of stuff. Are we on the verge of giving a team a real hammering? Like we could beat a team 5-0 at some point. Or are we going to keep scraping these 1-goal wins? Because eventually luck runs out.
Because, yeah, there's some 1-goal wins, but they've all been multiple goal wins. You know, we haven't had a 1-0 yet, have we?
No.
I'm pretty sure each game's been 2 goals plus for like 18 in a row or something stupid.
Yeah, we've had 3-0s, 2-0 in Crotone, 3-0 against Spezia. We beat Inter 2-1, obviously. Yeah.
So just because it's a 1-goal margin, we're still doing multiple goals a game. I think, if there's a game to do it, it might be this one.
Maybe. But
most
I'm
likely
also wary
Genoa.
that the one after this, which we'll have to preview next week, is Napoli. And that could be a pretty good game.
Well, yeah, but that'll be after the international break too. So we'll get that extra bit of rest unless Zlatan gets called up. Who knows?
He hasn't been called up, thankfully. Right, that's it. Thanks for joining me, boys. I've been your host, Ollie Fisher. You can find me on Twitter at Ollie Fisher or at Kilpian Chronicle. Been joined by Anthony Torgrud.
Yeah, I've been the attractive host. You can find me on Twitter at Torgrud45.
Co-host.
I don't know if that's what we say, but Edward__Toth.
Thank you very much for listening, everyone. Catch you in a week's time.
Andrea Conti, bella palla per Rebic, Ibra, Rebic, il tiro, gol!